So now we have ordered the cards and we will talk about them in detail. Copper Dragon.
This one is a key piece because it makes your dragons cheaper, right? Every turn you can generate 2 gold to play dragon allies. This is crucial because as you'll see, the cost of dragon cards is going to be high. If you could have 3 of those copper dragons in the deck, that would be great. This one's a pretty cool card. In my opinion, the drawing is so cool and cost 4 gold. And when it comes into play, you can destroy an opponent's ally. Strength 3, strength, could be better, maybe as a 4, but still pretty good. The Great Worm. So this is a key piece because when the Great Worm enters into play, it changes the whole dynamic of your deck. It gives your dragons +1 strength, so that's pretty good. And they also have rage. So instead of having to wait a turn to attack, now they can go for it. It's a little expensive, 6, right? And so that's why the Copper Dragon would be very nice, because then you could play for 4 gold. So we have some defenders here. Dragonel, it's a guardian, so cannot attack. Has cost 3, 5, so that's a good ratio there. We have a similar one. It's not a guardian, but you have to be careful when you use it to attack because then it would need to be destroyed. So same ratio, 3, 5. So Snow Dragon, this one is related to the Magma Dragon we saw. So this one comes into play and destroys all allies with strength 2 or less. So this also includes yours, right? So I think it's a fair one. As we'll see with the Dragon deck, you're going to be on the stronger side, also more costly. So it's a fairly safe play. We have Mercury Dragon. So this one is an interesting one and strong, especially at the end of the game. Because at the beginning of the Talisman War, Mercury Dragon is +1 strength for each dragon ally in your ruin pile until the final phase. Talisman War is either on your turn or your opponent's turn. So when it's attacking, it's going to have all that strength, but also when it defends.
There's a good combo with this Conjurer Totem.
It's a Wanderer. Each time you put an ally into play, an opponent must ruin a number of cards equal to that ally's strength. Okay, so no, it wouldn't work with that one. Because when you play it is during your watch phase, and the Mercury Dragon, it's only during Talisman War. You have Dragon Norseman, which is a recruiter, so it recruits itself. When you play it, you can search for a copy of that card, put it in your hand. The Bloodline cannot attack unless 2 other dragons' allies are declared attackers with him. So yeah, there's a restriction here because 2, 3. But it's a nice one. Royal Guard would be even better because it has to attack. It has like rage essentially. We have the Blood Drake. So the only effect here is rage, 3/2. Yeah, it's good. It could be better if it was like a 2/2 because you cannot play from turn 1, for example. But you can play this one from turn 1, Turtle Dragon, 2/1, rage. Those would be useful like right in the beginning, but then when you have a lot of allies in field and play, like strength 1 is not going to do anything. So the short sword gives the bear +1 strength, and it can bear another weapon. And then we have the jig sword, +1 strength, and if the bear is dragon, then against another +1. These ones are always welcome, the light horse, because it makes the bear unblockable. We have Favor Score. This is a good one because it returns a non-gold card to its owner hand. So anything that it's affecting you, go back to their hand. Celtic Totem. This is a nice. We saw it in the quest deck too. You choose a card type, and then every time you play that card type, your opponent ruins 2 cards.
When the opponent plays the card.
Sorry, you're right. I was gonna say if you see these cards, so you're gonna see that only 2 cards types cost 2, like allies. We have the Dukthurk Bloodline and then the Turtle Dragon. So aside from that, everything is more than 3, which means you can't play any of those in turn 1. So I think the main disadvantage of this deck is just the cost overall of the allies there. The only thing that is saving it more is the Copper Dragon because it generates a 2 gold to play it. But if you don't get Copper Dragon, then you have to really play those 6 gold cards for the Worm. And the other disadvantage I see here, or something that could help this deck, would be acceleration, which there's none of it. There's no way you can draw cards. And that's a little problematic, especially when you're trying to get a lot of gold cards to pay for expensive stuff. And I said this for personal experience because I played with it, and that was like the frustrating part because I have good cards in my hand, but then I cannot pay for them. But if you're able to play the Grey Worm and then give your dragons +1 strength and rage, then the game changes, because then it becomes very strong. Yeah, I don't know. Is there any other strategy you see here with these cards?
Yeah, there are some cards you can get in the boosters. As you said, acceleration would be a good one. There's a good
Yeah.
example would be the Cloud Dragon.
So it comes into play, and then you can draw 2 cards, or make your opponent drawing 2.
Some copies of Magma Dragon, of course, are good. Copper Dragons.
Yeah, unfortunately, you cannot get those through the boosters, so you would need to buy another deck just to get those 2 cards.
Yeah, that's true.
That's an interesting one. Essentially, this is like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you pick who you're going to attack. In this case, it's like you pick who's going to defend it, but it's effectively the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of
So-
like focused attack.
Light Dragon, that's a nice one on the expensive spectrum, but this is needed because you need to recycle cards. Out of the box, there's no way you can recover cards. If something goes to your ruin pile, it's gone with this deck. Silver Dragon. The effect is good, but it's very expensive to play. The effects have to be activated by paying gold cards. So on top of the 6 you pay to play just the dragon, you need to pay to activate it. So during your watch phase, you may pay 1 gold to draw a card. There's an acceleration. During your watch phase, you may pay 2 gold to discard a card from your opponent's hand. During your watch phase, you may pay 3 to make your opponent draw in 2 cards.
To Conjurer Drake.
Okay. Oh, this search for a gold card, huh?
Exactly.
I'll put it in your hand. Yeah, that's a nice one. Probably, personally, would have those instead of the blood drake, because they cost the same, but they're helping you get the gold cards you need to later play cards like the worm and others like that.
Yeah, I would
So-
like to recommend to change the Turtle Dragon as well, because it's not
Yeah.
that strong in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for 2 golds, I think you can get something better. With strength 1, you're not going to go anywhere. Oh, Ether Dragon. So if Ether Dragon attacks, all opposing allies are -1 strength until the final phase. Yeah, it just depends how the field is. The other thing I would say is these dragons can be vulnerable because Fireball or Morgana can get rid of them. So you would need to find also some protection. So maybe Holy Grail, adding it would be nice. Thank you for watching. This was the 4th and last deck of Sacred Swords. This is, again, my favorite just because I like dragons, but not necessarily the most competitive one. We talk about some improvements to make, so if there's something you agree on or you disagree on, you can put it in the comments and we'll be happy to take a look. Thanks for watching again.